Hey guys, Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. Well, now, if you didn't know, I'm in Florida, and we just had Hurricane Ian kind of roll past. And I have a lot of clients in Florida. I do a lot of handyman work. Also do a lot of, yard stuff. One thing about Florida is that a lot of people that move here, they don't really, take into consideration the hurricanes too much. And one big thing with Florida is that everybody has their lawn care. It's pretty rare to find someone that actually does their own lawn care. So no one has chainsaws down here. So after a hurricane or even a big storm comes through, if you're doing anything with, landscaping, lawn care, you're about to get a ton of work. And so Zach and I got a ton of work after the hurricane. And if you're wondering what it kind of takes, to run basically chainsaws kind of all day, well, behind me here is kind of what I run for the most part. So I recently I have two of each of the Makita chainsaws. I have the 18-volt top handle. I have two of those in two different configurations. I've got a 16-inch bar and chain on this one over here. I've got the 12-inch bar and chain on the one right here behind me. Then I've got two of the 36-volt rear handles, and those have the exact same bar and chain on those. And then this isn't even all my batteries that I run for Makita, but this is pretty much what I'll have with me at all times when I'm running a chainsaw. And I've probably got another 10 or 15 just sitting behind me, just in tools in my garage right now, tools in my workshop, and you can never get enough batteries. Makita has some really cool deals where you buy something for like $200. They have two more free batteries with it as well. So there's always somewhere to get extra batteries somewhere here and there. Now, kind of made this video is because I want to talk about running a cordless chainsaw. Of course, versus a gas chainsaw. All you do is buy more gas. A 5-gallon can of gas will get you pretty far with a gas chainsaw. Now, how many batteries do you need to run, say, one of these chainsaws pretty hard? Say you're running it professionally, commercially, or even if you have a really big property, you gotta clean up a number of trees in your property, and it probably takes, maybe all afternoon, even all day. I will say, on the smaller 18-volt chainsaws, you can do a decent amount of cuts in these with a 5-amp-hour battery. I would say you're gonna get, I think Makita claims like around 100 or so cuts with a 5-amp-hour battery on these. I would say I get a good 5 to 15 minutes of, decent work. If I'm just trimming up some trees with some small branches, it's not a big deal. I'm swapping batteries in this, once in a while. But the good thing with the 18-volt is that you don't really push this saw too hard. I've seen other reviewers talk about this saw, and, they try to put it through some really thick stuff. It's not that type of saw. It's designed for, cleaning up some smaller pieces of brush, getting into smaller, hard-to-reach areas. It's not for cutting up the big stuff. That's why we have the bigger 36-volt saws. Now, with these, you definitely will burn the battery basically all the way to 1 bar. However, though, when you run the 36-volt saw, it's going to be a little bit different story. So the reason why I started buying 2 every single saw that I own is because of the 36-volt saws. So these saws, you can push them pretty hard, but you're going to overheat the batteries in those saws actually pretty quick. And it's one of the reasons why I went with the Makita saws over like the DeWalt or the Milwaukee saws, because they only run 1 battery. Those single batteries, whether it's a 5-amp-hour or a 12-amp-hour in those, they're going to overheat just as fast as 1 battery. But having 2 batteries allows you to kind of share that thermal load there between 2 batteries and overheat those batteries a little bit slower. Now, you will basically swap these batteries out probably around 2 bars remaining. You're going to burn them down about halfway. They're going to get pretty hot. Of course, what you can do is you can let them rest, let them cool down again, and then run them down to 1 bar. Usually not too worth it to do that, so that's why I have so many batteries with me. If Zach and I do a pretty good-sized job, we'll probably each burn maybe 10 batteries each in the big 36-volt saws. So, having a ton of batteries ready to go is always a good thing. But let's say that you just have, your own property, you want to cut as much as you can with the saws. Having one 36-volt saw, I would say that you're going to need at least 8 batteries total and 2 dual rapid chargers to basically run that saw non-stop. Now, you will get to the point after basically, 2 to 3 sets of batteries, which is, 4 to 6 batteries, where you're going to start overheating the motor in that saw. What it's going to do is it's going to start flashing some of the lights on that battery check for you. And it's going to be basically, you're going to have to let that saw sit for at least 3 or 4 or 5 minutes or so to let the thing cool down. Now that's something to take into consideration, that you can swap the batteries out as much as you want, but that saw can be still really hot. That's why I bought two 36-volt saws. By the time I heat up another saw and have that thing basically nice and toasty where I gotta then turn it off, I'll have the other saw be cooled down again. So that's something to be aware of when it comes to battery-powered chainsaws, is heat is gonna be your biggest enemy. Other than that, of course, when it comes to batteries, is gonna be a bit of an issue there. Now, I'm sure there's gonna be some comments, guys, saying, how much did I spend on batteries? I will say, I do look for deals a lot. I know I mentioned this on the channel a lot, but I'm always looking for deals. I don't pay full retail price very much. I'm a big eBay, pawn shop, find the clearance deals at Home Depot kind of guy. But for the most part, I would say the batteries behind me, probably about $1,000 into those now at this point. Between the chainsaws, I will say I've got a number of good deals on the chainsaws. I picked up one of the 36-volt chainsaws off eBay. The guy had it in a kit for like 170 bucks, came with 2 more 5s, fantastic deal. I ended up buying one of the chainsaws about a year and a half ago it was kind of a sale price, it was like 340 bucks, came with 4 5s, and that's kind of what got me into the Makita chainsaws. Now, the top handles, these guys are kind of pricey for what they are, but they are a really, really good saw. I've had the DeWalt one before that I got it for 100 bucks on sale at Home Depot. I will say the Makitas, while smaller, are definitely a good saw to have for the price. Even though they're a bit more expensive than the DeWalts. The cheapest one I got so far was I picked up this one behind me here, which I've only used maybe once. I got it for 120 bucks, brand new in the box on eBay. They are retailing for about 200, but Amazon has them for about 180 bucks. I know they do seem pricey for not that much power in a saw, but if you're using them for, just clean up some brush, kind of limbing a few things, some light use, they're fantastic saws. They're super light, super compact, got a lot of professional features on them as well too, and just really love those saws. Kind of a misunderstood tool there a little bit. Don't push them super hard. They're not designed to be pushed. They're really thick material. So guys, hope you have some questions about, going cordless when it comes to chainsaws. I know there's going to be some guys that are going to be like, oh, gas chainsaws. I'm not saying gas is bad by any means. Of course, there's also going to be a point where, you get to some bigger stuff, battery's just not going to cut it. And I will understand that. There's going to be, of course, you might see some pro guys now using, the top handle battery chainsaws when they're climbing up in the bucket. But there's going to be no substitution for gas saws when you're cutting some really thick stuff. I'd say the thickest thing the thickest thing I've ever gone through with these 36-volt top handles is probably going to be something about, I'd say maybe 22 inches in diameter. Takes a while, but you'll get it done. So anything larger than that, I would say, buy the gas saw, buy the steel, buy the Husqvarna. But this will get, 80, 90% done on what you need. That's not going to be too big. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and take care. Have a good day.